Welcome to episode 394 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I am your host, Dave Ginsburg, and Mr. Guy Serle is back on the show. How you doing, Guy?
Jazz hands. Doing fine. Thank you very, very much, Dave, for inviting me on and
always welcome.
Letting me speak my nonsense.
There's a little bit of that, but I'm always glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Also here, Jill McKinley. So glad to see you. How are you doing this week?
Oh, I am doing splendidly. I'm enjoying my extra hour of sleep quite a bit.
That extra hour, yeah. I got that extra hour when I was in Vegas last week. So
you probably needed it.
I did. Marty Jencius is here. How you doing, Marty?
I'm glad it's Thursday. Glad it's near the end of the week, and there's no other place that I'd rather be than right here, right now.
Absolutely. We always have a blast here. Also here is Eric Bolden. How you doing, Eric?
Good. Yes, I took that hour and a couple more hours and lumped them all together and pretending like they really exist.
And the bird of the week behind you there?
Oh, it is a turkey vulture.
Oh, that is a big week span there. If those you're watching on the stream.
Left.
So
it was a little bit close for me, but
So turkey vulture. When your holiday dinner comes from roadkill, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
That is right.
As does the stuffing.
And
it's a serious question. Do people actually eat those things or no?
No.
Oh, okay. Serious question.
Given what they eat, I don't think you would want to either.
Yeah. Well, given what I eat, people wouldn't want to eat me either.
All right. But last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet is here. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right, and I apologize up front for showing up and immediately devolving into unmitigated chaos.
Well, that's what makes the show fun. Active chaos.
I think it's expected at this point.
Oh, someday he'll get to mitigated chaos.
That's right. All right.
Baby steps.
Here we go. All right. This week we got lots to talk about. Is in touch with Vision Pro, in touch with Mac, beta, the usual suspects. But let's talk a little bit about Vision Pro this week. Apple did release Vision OS 26.1 and also released an app for the iPad, which I was excited to see. The Vision OS adds add that app, and it also supports AirPlay for viewing experiences from the Vision Pro to both the iPhone and the iPad. So that's really cool because I seem to remember trying to demo the Vision Pro on the iPad, and it wasn't quite the nightmare. But that is great that they've added that. Of course, some bug fixes, and they've added some things with the spatial gallery, discovering new content with spatial experiences, and quickly accessing information with your device using the Vision Pro app on the iPad. So a lot of good things so far. What did you like so far on this, Eric?
It kind of smoothed out some of the edges. They kind of fine-tuned being able to turn off some of the transparency. So for me, it's easier to see now. And everything I'm connecting to is more stable. I was having some problems with my Macs having to be rebooted frequently. And I use that with the Vision Pro for a virtual screen. So that was annoying. That has gone down significantly. I think there's a couple of apps that still kind of push it over the edge, but I don't have to restart every day now. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Marty, you've got this installed on your M5. No, you had to upgrade because it wasn't out yet. But how's that been running for you?
It's hard to tell the clarity differences because is it attributable to the software beta or the update, or is it attributable to the new device with some clarity on the new device? But I echo what Eric has said that people are reporting more with M2s running it, are reporting more clarity and particularly with written or printed material that has come up, the edging is much clearer for them. So,
yep. So it's so far for me, it's been pretty good. I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but we'll definitely keep going and see how it goes here. Although beta came out just right after that. Vision OS 26.2 Beta 1 was released. We have the release notes from the developer site. And again, nothing too overly exciting, at least that anything I noticed. I don't even worth mentioning here because a lot of stuff, including they've fixed some known issues with TV share play and other things. Marty, do you see anything else with 26.2?
Yeah, from looking at what I could see on 26.2 Beta 1, Logitech Muse stylus support's been improved in it.
Mm-hmm.
In particularly, it works better with apps on Vision Pro, but also developers get a sense of pressure and how much pressure it takes to it. That is kind of cleared up. That was pretty wonky.
Mm-hmm.
In the press. So the data is now normalized with the button readings. App performance tools are fixed. Apple's developer tool instruments used to find memory leaks and slow spots now correctly tracks Swift apps. And then subscription testing is fixed. It used to be that people would have to try and fix it, and then with Xcode, and then they had to wait. There's still a small bug where subscription status updates take up to 24 hours to refresh. So that's about that. And you can't SharePlay DRM protected movies or shows from the Apple TV app right now, but Apple's aware of that problem and will probably fix it with future updates. So.
All right. And then lastly, I did receive my Vision Pro dual knit band to be on my M2 Vision Pro. Here it is right here. Everybody's looking on camera. It is extremely comfortable, like you guys have been saying. I must say, I even like how you can get it a tighter fit when you want to. You can adjust it very quickly, easy. It does give a lot of support over on top of your head and the back, because that's all you had before. I had the Belkin strap before, and that gave me some support, but this, I would not go back at this point. So. Really loving it, and I'm just kind of cruddy that Apple may spend $100 to get this strap, but that it is what it is. We're all in the Apple world. Of course, we're going to spend money, aren't we? So, very very pleased with that.
I spent $3,500 to get mine, Dave. I don't know where you got the deal for.
Yeah, well,
he knows a guy.
I knew a guy. Yeah,
fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah, I knew a guy. So. Yeah, that's about it for Vision Pro this week. We have a ton of more things to cover going into beta, but first I want to talk a little bit about iOS. All the OSs were released. 26.1 was released to the public and others, but the first thing I'll mention is, of those of you who are still using iOS 18, 18.7.2 was released for the iPhone and the iPad. Includes some quote-unquote important security fixes. But now Apple just also shipped this fresh updates for those who are not ready yet to upgrade to 26. Just basically bug fixes. That's generally what's happening here. And then there were some specific releases including patches for the App Store, audio, camera, Find My, Notes, and more. But if you're holding out at this point, I think now we've got iOS 26.1 that was released. We'll talk in a second. Yeah. You're at least protected if you're not ready just yet. So check that out. But yes, Apple did release all the OSs at 26.1. iOS 26.1 has some enhancements to Apple Intelligence. The AirPods now have live translation available in additional languages. And then some small changes to settings of the music, TV, phone, and fitness, and photos and Safari. And there's a long list of things that were released in 26.1. Including some of the other things like local capture files can be saved to a specific location. Manual workout logging is now available directly into the fitness app. There's a new camera setting to turn on and off the lock screen to swipe open the camera. improve FaceTime audio quality in low bandwidth situations, which is good. That was a big thing. And many others. We'll definitely cover across all the features because there's going to be a lot that probably can take a whole show up by itself if I kept going here. Anybody's experience with 26.1, Jeff? I know you're the early the person to upgrade. How's it working for you?
If you haven't upgraded to version 26 at all, don't, is my take at this point. Some things are improved in 26.1 overall. However, like on the Mac, I have new audio issues.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, if you do anything that really relies on audio and you're on 26 and you're not having problems, I am so happy for you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll touch on that in a second. Yeah, because I got some stories too. Because work got a little crazy too. So, go ahead.
But on iOS, on an older iPhone 12 Pro, yes, I know you typically see a temporary performance boost after you restart your phone anyhow, but the 26.1 on my iPhone overall, I'm seeing better performance even a few days after installing it. So that's a plus right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Anybody else have any comments about 26.1? I can think from many of us.
I think my battery life is a little bit better with 26.01. It just seemed like, and I'm on a 16 Pro, it just seemed like I was near the end of the day, my phone would just be like barely struggling along with battery life. And now it's back to the way it was before.
Okay. You're on 26.1 or 26.01?
26.1.
Okay, just making sure.
I liked the manual workout. I tried that out. That was the one thing I tried because that has not existed before. So that's pretty exciting for me.
Yep. So, go ahead.
Two things. One is if you upgrade to 26.1, make sure you upgrade all of your apps. There's some apps that were kind of causing some memory leaks, and they've been slowly updating those. So it's well worth keeping those up to date. And then I had one comment on the watch. I can save it for a bit, or
yeah, let's go. We'll get to WatchOS just a minute here.
Oh, I did have one other thing. My Electron Elgato camera hub, which was fixed and working flawlessly, has now, because before I was getting the max headroom stutters, and those are back again. So,
oh, that's not good. So, all right. Let's move on to iPad. iPad OS 26 basically has got just about the same features as iOS. There is a toggle to reduce the liquid glass transparency and Apple Intelligence support for new language and so on. It does have the slide over, which lets you keep a window on top of other windows, easily hiding off screen when not in use. It's got a resizable window and slide over to let you choose your preferred size and aspect ratio. Local capture, which is you gain control of available for external USB microphones when recording with local capture. Option to let you choose where your local capture files are saved. That's really good. And then, of course, we talked about liquid glass and the Apple Music mini players in there, improved the Facebook audio and all that stuff. So, Jeff, I'll hit with you. You're using your iPad a lot. What did you see?
On my iPad Pro, the liquid glass features, it's been refined, it looks like. But being able to scale back the transparency has been a huge thing. I think it actually makes everything much more readable. Multitasking, the slide over, for me, it's working flawlessly, which makes me super happy because I was a slide over user before we lost the feature. For the bagging that I did a couple of minutes ago on the 26 updates, overall on the iPad, I'm actually pretty happy with how this is working.
That's good to hear. Anybody else have anything with the iPad they wanted to add?
I am accidental. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just having a hard time adjusting to, now, am I doing slide over? Am I breaking it up into half panels? I don't use my iPad as much as others probably. So every time they make a change, it's like I'm a babe in the woods trying to figure out which, and in particular now it kind of half windows and I need to pull it completely up. I'm just having a difficult time.
You're not alone, because the thing is, the way the windows come up, we were so used to just swiping up and bringing and getting, if you want to get rid of them and move them out of the way. Well, a lot of times you grab it and you're resizing them because it's got the little half circle on the bottom right corner that you drag up or down to resize. So I've learned that I got to put your finger right down at the bottom row and then just swipe up that way if you want to close it out that way. It's a little bit of an adjustment because I think everybody has muscle memory. You had to do that on the iPad. iPhone's not a problem. It's just the iPad is a lot different with those windows. So, anybody else?
I was going to say that I'm having a lot of trouble. Like I'm accidentally sliding over all the time. And I'm like, how did I just do that? Yeah. So same thing. I'm accidentally not doing things right.
So go ahead, Bear.
Oh, I've been having problems importing files from an attached camera into a specific album. And that's all gone away. It works perfectly now, which is great.
It's good to hear. Want to hit some comments at youtube.com/intouchwithios. Thanks for Web Bixby here. Weatherbucket is here. He said he had a few random phone reboots and app crashes here and there, and no matter what the iOS version, hasn't been much to worry about with the updates. And then also third-party keyboard formatting after plain 26 was wonky, but fixed with the next patch, so smooth ever since. So it looks like he had some successful stuff with that too. So that's great to hear. So if we move on here, we go to tvOS 26.1. Can't say there is too much that's out there right now with that.
I have a question about that.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
If you don't mind. After updating to 26.1 on my Apple TV, maybe it's just me. Excuse me, but the way it's displaying all the apps for me is actually a little bit better. The preview thing that it shows for whatever icon you're currently hovering over, that's taking up the whole screen, and I'm just getting one row of icons at the bottom now.
I'll have to check that.
Which for me is actually great.
Yeah, they really said there isn't much information here, and I would probably hit on tvOS related to the Apple TV 4K. I think their updates are imminent. Getting new Apple TVs finally. So there's been some rumors on that. Wasn't going to touch too much on that, but stock is kind of low because I tend to buy those for work, and and I noticed that they were having a little limited stock here. So looks like it's imminent, but we don't know just yet, of course, because it is a rumor. Anybody else have anything on tvOS?
I don't necessarily have something on tvOS, but it is related.
Okay.
Is there a reason why Apple released 26.01 for all of the different devices that are running various 26 operating systems all at the same time?
Good question.
It seems like, part of the reason why they went to this new numbering scheme was to try to prevent a lot of the confusion that was happening before. But if they're releasing updates for devices and the update isn't either handling the problems that they were looking at, or if it's premature, or if it's a little bit too late, it just seems like it's an update just for the sake of having all of the devices being on 26.1 or 26.01, or pick your numbered poison. And I don't think that that's really solving the problem that they set out to do when they changed the numbering scheme to 26 across the board.
Well, I mean, I think
I have a hypothesis.
Yeah, please. You probably you were going to hit it first, so I know you would have a good hypothesis here.
Okay, so my hypothesis, and we need to have more updates to see if this holds true. I think they wanted to get this big update out across all devices simultaneously because of the security patches. So that they had the other fixes that were in there, but the big thing was security patches. Everyone needs them right now.
Agree. I was going to say, yeah, the .01 or .02 updates tend to be just patches. That's it. I mean, just they found a pretty serious bug. They couldn't wait for the full .1 release until we got it, and that's why .01 came out first. You're right. It's confusing because now we went from .01 to now .1. It can tend to be a little confusing, and then we're already at .2 in beta. So, but this was pretty typical of what Apple's done in the past. I mean, you look at iOS 18, it went from 1 to 7 to 7.2. So, I mean, it just continues on there. So I think we've always had the confusion of when the incremental versions of upgrades with the OS. So I'm not at all surprised that they've kind of kept consistent with it. So, and then let's hit on watchOS, which really just all it really did was add some bug fixes. And I think Jill, you said you had some thoughts on watchOS.
Well, I said that I tried the manual workout that worked on here. I don't know if you wanted my comment, but I got the Ultra 3. It went on a random sale.
Yep, we'll hit that in just a minute. I got you.
Later,
I got you in the topics. I want to hear all about it. Eric.
Yeah, but nothing.
Eric, you said you had a comment on watchOS.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but this last update took a long time. And
no kidding.
Like an hour and a half to 7 hours to, it was really, really long. And so I was going through and reading comments and finally came across a couple where they said if you turn Bluetooth off on your phone and then initiate the update from the watch, then it's like 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently it's transferring all of the data across Bluetooth instead of picking Wi-Fi.
Well, that's
so
stupid.
For anyone who hasn't updated yet, turn off Bluetooth on the phone, tell the watch to grab the update, and maybe it will go faster.
Yeah, I did I started the install, but didn't have the watch on a charger just yet, so I let it download. So it was then when I went to bed, I think it was last night, because it took a little longer. I didn't pay attention to make sure I had to get it done. So put it on the charger, and I tapped install on my phone, and I was watching it come up pretty quickly after that. So it did. But that for me didn't take very long. It was actually a pretty quick install. So, anybody else have any comments about watchOS? Then Jeff's favorite topic, HomePod. They have some. They have some release of the 26.1 software with performance improvements. Mm-hmm. Alongside those operating systems, that comes almost 7 weeks after Apple released the HomePod 26 software. According to the release notes, the 26.1 includes performance and stability improvements. It is installed automatically on the HomePod unless the feature is disabled, but the HomePod can be manually updated on the iPhone or iPad using in the Home app and going into the settings, which I tend to do just to make sure it installs. Thoughts, Jeff? Still sucks.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not seeing any really noticeable improvements. The one thing that hasn't happened since the update, but I'm assuming it's not related to the update and it will start again. There are different scenes I go to set where my HomePod will ask if it's me, and I say yes, and then it says now you have to authenticate on your iPhone, and then I tell it to do the routine or whatever the scene is, and I'll go through that like 2 or 3 times, and then it just does the scene.
Yeah.
And it hasn't done that to me since 26.1, but we're only a couple days into the new version, so there's still plenty of time for it to disappoint me.
Okay.
Stay positive.
And
Yeah, I'm positive at some point it will disappoint me.
anybody?
Jeff, do you just want a new device altogether? I mean, is the form factor and what it can do outdating your desires?
No, no, I don't think so. What the real problem is of its ability to parse and accurately react. So it gets very it it's almost random what it will and won't recognize at any given moment. I try not to slur my speech too much. But yeah, I am finding myself talking to my Echo more often than I used to, just for routine things. Like I don't even ask my HomePod to do alarms or timers anymore. But as long as I keep it simple with what I want the HomePod to play, it can generally do that. So I'm not sure where to start with the problems, and I'm fully willing to accept that it could be that I just have a bad HomePod.
Yeah, very possible.
It can happen.
Does happen. Anybody else have any other thoughts about the Home OS?
I have. Go ahead.
No. Please go ahead.
I have HomePod Mini, and it plays music for my bird all day long according to a schedule. Plays some classical music at the beginning, and then some rock, and then it goes back to classical music and some nature sounds, and then he goes to bed. And that it's all set up with home automation, and I've had it stall in the past where it just stops for no reason. And since 26.1, it has not done that. And like you said, it's new, but so far so good on maybe getting my automations to work on schedule.
Okay.
I had a problem. I have 2 HomePod minis with my TV downstairs, and they were set up as a stereo pair. And suddenly the one on the right stopped working, and it didn't matter what I did. It would even show it connected to the network, same network that the Apple TV was on, and it just would not work. And out of frustration, I changed the name of the Wi-Fi network for Home OS for all the devices that were there, and that finally did it. But then it led to a different problem where, because I use an Airport Express for an old brother laser printer, color laser printer that I have. And all of a sudden that stopped working. And I spent like 2 days troubleshooting, going back and forth, trying a bunch of different things. And finally the solution ended up being going through the settings on the brother, not changing anything, restarting it, and it worked.
Because of course.
Just infuriated me. Not that because the printer worked, because I was happy about that, but just that all of the usual tech suspects did nothing until I just turned it off and turned it on again.
Did you turn it on and off again?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Then beta came out. iOS 26.2 is out. And so far, some of the things that are what's new in there includes the lock screen. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like that big clock here, like I'm showing on here, the giant numbers with the clock. I've put this on for a while, and I kind of dig it. So I don't know if you guys like that or not. That's the real large size. You can make the clock time a lot larger than the normal size. So I think I kind of dig that. But the lock screen,
go ahead. I was going to say, it sits on my nightstand or my night charger, and it's blacked out until I reach over and tap it to find out what time it is. It's
giant, so you know.
And the big letters are, it's big letters are great.
So, or
big numbers.
So what they did is, on the lock screen, they did add a liquid glass slider on the lock screen. It allowed you to customize the appearance of the clock, and then using the glass option, you can use the slider to make a time look almost entirely clear, or make it even a frosted look. So they're really getting customizable here with the clock, the last couple updates here. There continues to be a separate solid toggle that turns the liquid glass appearance for the clock entirely if you want to opt out for much more opaque design, and as well as you can still use the color options for the clock. It has a sleep score, and they adjusted the ranges for the sleep score, which was introduced earlier this year. The new sleep score numbers are much better matched to how people feel after a night of sleep. I got my sleep number bed taking care of that for me, so I'm not using this. So, it looks like the numbers are pretty much the same. What Sleep Number does too, as I'm looking at this. In the password section, in the passwords app, there is now an option to manage websites where passwords are not saved when signing in. That's a good update there. And they did, of course, more expansion to the live translation for the EU with the AirPods. I still haven't tried that yet. I still need to try that. But I gotta get going on that. And then freeform reminders. The podcast app has some new features, including automatically created chapter options to see mentions of other podcasts in the transcript and the player, and access to links mentioned in the podcast on the episode page. Although not live, AirDrop is going to include multiple references to a new AirDrop feature. It'll allow two people to send a pin to one another, and a special code will enable AirDrop for the next 30 days. AirDrop, of course, right now was always limited to 10 minutes, so that's good. Weather, Apple News, some things were changed there, various other things. So looks like, they're being very active with the beta updates, and developers will get these in their hands and start testing and looking at this soon. Marty, you've got it installed on your devices. What good experience have you had, or bad?
I've had good experience with it. It really has been quite. It works really well in terms of the possibilities with the device and what you want to use it for.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Guy, are you running beta, or are you staying on the regular?
I'm staying on the regular for now. Once the betas get a little deeper into the cycle, then I'll probably go ahead and give it a try on most things except except my phone and my Mac. Sure. So, Apple TV and my iPad and things like that, I'll go ahead and drop the betas on those. I use too much audio stuff to screw around too much on my Mac for that stuff.
Yeah, in general, I find that all the stuff that you guys gripe about on the non-beta versions, most of it gets corrected on the beta versions. So, the problems that you're talking about, I think they're listening to or paying attention to. So I don't run into problems with betas. I run into more solutions, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Eric, you're running beta on your devices?
Not at the moment, mostly because I'm trying to provide feedback to a bunch of apps.
Okay.
And you can't be in beta when you're doing that.
That makes sense.
But I think one of my Macs, I'll switch over to beta.
Okay.
Just so I can do some.
Jill, you run it on your devices?
So basically my Studio Mac Mini and my iPhone are not on betas, and everything else is on betas still. So that includes the iPads, and they've been great. I found them to be easier to deal with, like you said, like you were talking about with the passwords.
Yeah.
I don't know if that changed anything like that, but I haven't seen anything exciting.
Okay. Jeff, you run it on your iPad?
Run it on my iPad, and so far the beta's running fine.
All right. All right, that's good to hear. Good to hear. So, all right, and that's beta for this week as far as iOS and iPad OS and all others, and then we'll touch a little bit on Mac OS. 26.1 did get the new liquid glass setting and so much more. Not a ton of increases on this stuff, but I did come across some potential bugs when it comes to networking. What the Wi-Fi is breaking if you use certificates and that you maintain, and on Wi-Fi's were just discovered the potential breakage of that. But overall, it seemed pretty stable on my personal machines. Looks like its stability has been pretty good. I haven't run into too many problems with it. So that's 26.1. Again, there wasn't a ton that was actually released on this. So anybody else that had their experiences with Mac OS 13, 12, 26.1? Oh,
Just
no,
some
that's
of,
right. Oh,
like I
I
said, the
forgot,
electron
Jeff.
issues.
Yes. Tell us your woes.
Jill, go ahead and tell us happy things
Okay.
first.
Oh, happy things first. Well, really, 26.1 didn't do much for me one way or the other. Like I said, it was good and it was perfectly fine, but I had started having problems with the Electron apps. Not the core functionality of the Electron apps, like with the sound issue that you're having. It's more cosmetic, and I can deal with that. So go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah. One of the big problems I was hoping would be addressed in 26.1, and I think it relates to Electron apps in some way as well. Basically, every morning when I get up, I find that my Mac has crashed and rebooted at some point during the night. And so I was hoping with what Apple's doing to address the Electron window drawing issue, that this wouldn't be a problem anymore. And nope, still pretty much every morning I get up and find that my Mac has crashed.
What apps are you leaving on it overnight? Anything?
It's running usual things like my mail app is probably running, or well, now it's not because I quit it just a little bit ago. Web browser might be running. BB Edit will be running, and then I try to remember to quit all my Electron apps, and so the Electron app that is definitely running all night long is 1Password. I mean, it's running in the background. The app itself is quit.
Yeah.
So I don't think all the Electron issues have been worked out.
Yeah, kind of sad. It's been quite an ordeal with Electron apps, obviously, with that. So,
yeah.
Well, it seemed to me that Rogue Amoeba really addressed those.
did.
I mean, like they fixed them once and then they fixed them again. And Elgato, too, got right on it and fixed it within probably 5 days of it having trouble. So hopefully it'll be fast.
Well, Rogue Amoeba, I don't think they're using Electron for any of their stuff.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I know.
The audio issues that I'm having right now, I didn't even realize I was having a problem until Brian Chaffin and I went to record, and it turns out that he found the problem first. And there was an audio issue with incoming audio when you're recording with Audio Hijack that I was able to replicate. And man, we did a ton of stuff to try and work around the problem. And it started after installing 26.1. So I don't want to call it a Rogue Amoeba problem, but it wouldn't surprise me if Rogue Amoeba comes up with a solution to the problem before Apple rolls out another software update.
Likely they'll do something to their ACE background program that runs for a lot of apps.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's it. Okay, so for anyone that's having the problem, real fast, you're bringing in the audio from someone else and funneling it into to Audio Hijack. Their voice sounds like it's two inputs happening, and they're just a few milliseconds off from each other.
Yeah, Jeff, I actually was in a Zoom meeting today where I tried to use Audio Hijack and got that same process. It was really screwing me up. Also, some echo from my end whenever I said anything, but I just kind of talked over the echo. But I was trying to capture the meeting the best that I could, and I'm like, this is not as clear as I thought it would be. Maybe it isn't.
Are you bringing the audio through in mono or stereo?
Stereo today.
Okay, try it in mono.
Yeah, That's the
basically
one
put
thing we
either
didn't
channel
try.
1 or channel 2 across both left and right. And that should take care of any echoing or delay issues.
Yeah, that's the one thing we didn't try was switching to mono.
Okay. So anything else with Mac OS that had any experience with? Apple did release today, as we record this. They did not release it the same day as all the other OSs. 26.2 Beta 1. It's ready to test the next update. It's definitely going to be something that's going to add some things here. There's not a ton of stuff that was really was announced or what there is an idea what the features are, but it is out and they're going to start testing it. So they've been pretty aggressive with the beta updates. As soon as .1 came out, they were right to .2 beta testing. So we're rolling along here with all the updates, which is great to see that they're doing this. So,
what's kind of interesting is I saw the story that Microsoft was no longer going to do major releases anymore, that they were just going to keep rolling out features and updates, that they might get away from the names at all. And it might be like Windows AI, and that'll be just the forever version of it. And they'll just keep pushing updates out. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But when I saw this happening, I'm like, I wonder if it's to compete a little with that.
It's possible because
remember as well that they've pretty much gone to a subscription service for every single product that they sell outside of the operating system, and a few little knickknacks here and there.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody hooked in, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way, through a subscription service, then there's really no point in having, okay, well, now we're going from, Word 11 to Word 12. Who cares? Just put the new features in Word, let people know about them, and move on. There's no reason to completely uninstall Word and then reinstall a new version if it's just for a couple of features that might not necessarily need for you to do that.
Yeah. The word on the street is. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think, Guy, I think that's kind of a lousy marketing. I mean, you've got to show something flashy every once in a while, and rebranding it makes it flashy, even if it still is a turd in a blanket. But, I can't imagine them giving up having a new name or a new thing to call something as their operating system. And they might be doing that as a company, but I think the marketing people are probably going nuts.
Yeah.
Well,
what are we going to market? How are we going to market it?
Do we really expect that? Well, I was about to say something really mean there, so I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Well, then how about if I cover for you, Guy, and say, Marty, look how it's working out for Adobe, because when they went to Creative Cloud, version numbers disappeared.
Yep.
And so for the average user, on one hand, it's okay because they just have Creative Cloud. But then the problem is, what version are you running when you're doing trouble or tech support? The answer is, I don't know. I'm running Creative Cloud.
All right.
Well, which version of Creative Cloud? And I think it's actually more a problem for tech support than marketing.
Yeah, everybody should be running the newest version of Creative Cloud if they're on a subscription.
Right.
Yep.
So there's no question about it as long as they're doing the updates.
Well,
and as long as whatever machine it is you're running on will support whatever that new version is. Because I don't know if Adobe or Microsoft do any kind of check on what it is that they're putting out next as to whether or not it'll run on a 27-inch iMac from 2019 or 2017 or whatever, or if they're on an M series processor. And if they're on an older version because whatever Mac they have doesn't support it, then the tech support issues definitely come into place. And at that point, is it even really worth it to continue to keep a subscription to a service like that?
All right, let's wrap away from this discussion and let's move on. We've got a couple new items that folks have this week. I actually talked about this product a couple weeks ago, and I received it, and I absolutely love it. This is the Audioengine HXL for the portable balanced headphone amplifier and DAC. And Jeff, our resident DAC guru, has got it, and he's been playing with it. And we would love to hear your review of this product. And
all right. Well, I'll keep it relatively short.
Just whatever
okay, so
across. Yep.
How tiny this is! It's for those of you that remember the iPod Shuffle,
which I still have.
When it turned into basically a little clip thing. It's it's size wise like that, but it's thicker.
It's like a 9-volt battery almost.
A 9-volt battery. I think that, like, if you squished this to match the size of a 9-volt battery, the 9-volt might have a little more volume internally.
Stack some Trident gum up, and that would probably like 3 or 4 pieces would make about the width of it.
Yeah, there you go. So I like that in the box they do include your cable, and it is USB-C both ends, but they include a USB-C to Lightning adapter. So it doesn't matter what device you have, you can just use this right out of the box, and no need for drivers. It is a 32-bit device, which is nice if you're doing all the high-res audio stuff that Apple has. You have you have a little DAC that's designed to handle that. We need to step back a second, Dave, because not everyone knows what a DAC is. Okay. It's a digital to analog audio converter. And so every device you have, your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad, they all have a tiny little chip in them so that the digital signals that you want to hear can get transition or transmogrified from that digital data into an audio thing that you actually hear. And so the DAC that's built into your Mac and your iPhone, your iPad, these are perfectly fine, but they have limitations because they aren't as powerful, they aren't as capable as the chips that you will have in like a third-party DAC device. So ultimately, this means you can get higher audio quality regardless of what the bit depth is of the audio file itself. So the fact that this does 32-bit audio and all the stuff that goes along with it, you're probably not ever going to hear the difference between this and something that's doing 24-bit. And for a lot of things, even 16-bit. But the fact that you have that range built into the device means when you're actually playing those audio files, you will have less getting lost along the way. And the way something like this will render out that audio is much better than what you're going to get from the built-in device. So I always, at my desk, use an external DAC for audio, and compared to what I usually use, the iFi Hip DAC, look how tiny the HXL is like in comparison.
It's like an eighth or a 16th of that.
Right. Well, and this doesn't have a battery built in, unlike the iFi Hip DAC. Bus powered. But it does have physical buttons for controlling the volume, which is good because you always want to control the volume from your DAC. And I was worried about that, but then pleasantly surprised because instead of being this very coarse up-down thing, it's doing like micro steps for the audio. And it is so gradual with its steps, which is awesome, that at first I thought the buttons didn't work. And then I'm like, oh, nope, the audio level's changing. Great. So the big thing, though, is how does the audio sound coming out of this? And I think this is punching above its weight when you look at the size of it. And I need to do more testing. I've only had this for a couple days because the U.S. Postal Service decided to send this on a cross-country trip. And So the testing I've done so far it's been with my AudioFly AF78 in-ear monitors. So these are high-end in-ear monitors for listening to music. And excuse me. And the audio quality that I'm getting, the details that I'm hearing in my sample tracks. I have a playlist that I use for doing audio testing, which I believe I've shared through Apple Music, so anyone can go access it. The details that I'm picking out in the tracks are much better than you would expect for a device so small. They're really good, and great dynamic range through this, and yeah, the way it handles your highs, your lows, and your mids, it is really good. Plus, you have your 3.5 millimeter plus your 4.1 balanced jacks.
Yeah, the 4.
So
the 4.4 is it?
Oh, excuse me, 4.4. Yeah. So if you're using higher end headphones that need more power, this tiny little thing should be able to drive those. Yeah. So at $169 for a lot of people that might be like, I don't know if I want to spend that much. But if you're like really into the quality of your audio when you're listening to music on your Mac, on your iPad, on your iPhone, this little thing, and it's so fracking small.
Yeah, it is. It takes up so less space. I had my D1 audio engine before, and only thing I didn't like about the D1 is I had to control the volume at the D1 with the knob controller. Now I can my Mac can control the volume as well as those two toggle buttons to give some granular fine-tuned volume. So now it incorporates the sound as an actual device on your Mac, so you don't have to mess with other than the standard volume control on your Mac.
Yeah, it's great. And here's a little tip. If you want to not have to worry about like blowing anything out, set the audio level on your output, meaning like on your device, your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad, put it at the halfway point. And then do all the rest of the audio control from this device. And it would be the same for any of your other DACs that you're using. Right. And I think you'll be very pleased with what you get. So yeah, don't mess around with the audio that features that are built in. Get yourself one of these.
It's sounding great with my Audioengine H5 Pluses. It's been absolutely great. And like I said, got enough stuff on my desk. I love this, that it's just this little guy hiding behind my Stream Deck here.
And it's so
tiny. So
yeah, my next test is going to be testing this on my Mac.
Okay.
And so it'll be powering Audioengine A5 speakers plus the subwoofer.
Yep.
Their smaller subwoofer.
Right.
And I'm really curious to see how this little DAC holds up against my shit Modi 3 Plus.
Yeah. All right, that's the review of the HXL from Audioengine. There's a link in the show notes for you to check it out and make the purchase on Amazon. So check that out. And then Jill, you just got your Apple Watch Ultra 3. What's your first impressions of that?
Well, my first impressions are very good. It's very similar to my Ultra One. I have to fall off of a mountain and call for help before I can tell for sure that it does everything I wanted it to do. So I'm planning on testing that next spring. But, it started up with the blood pressure notifications, which I didn't have any, and started, about the gestures, which I didn't have before, which was kind of nice. And the battery's been great on it. I've only had it for 3 days, but I haven't charged it yet. So, and I wear it night and day, so I'm pretty happy about that. And like I said, I'm really looking forward. This weekend, I'm going to go and get it hooked up to the cellular for Verizon, and then I'll be able to test all of that out. But I'm really quite pleased with it. And like I said, I'm now Yeah. Apparently, I'm not supposed to throw myself off a mountain just to test a watch, but I'm totally
that
going to
probably
do
would
it.
be a
So,
good idea
yeah,
not
we
to do
got-
that.
Jill, do you have someone you don't like? Put your watch on them and
Oh.
throw them off the
There you
mountain.
go.
But then, yeah, my watch goes with them, and I kind of like the watch.
Okay, I'm making a note here. Don't go with Jill to a mountain.
Or the Northwoods, for that
Jill,
matter.
it's for
Yeah,
science.
it's for science.
It is.
Hey, Guy, can you hold this watch while I push you off the mountain?
Sure. Oh, wait. Hey,
Jill-
that's the same thing.
Hey, Jill, if you have a friend that you trust,
Mhm.
have them wait at the bottom,
Okay.
and then they can just grab the watch for you. You drive down around, and off you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, so I think I was going to get $275 off of the watch, the Ultra One. I've been trying to sell it to someone locally so that they, I like, hey, I got a good deal on an Ultra One. Would you like it? Would any of you like it? And then the 8, I think I was going to get 150 on. So in the end, it probably with the, it's probably 250-ish, 300. So, in there. And I felt that was a reasonable thing to make me feel safer when I go hiking by myself.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. Great to hear about that. So let's move on. One more topic I want to hit real quick here is Apple did launch the App Store for the web. And I thought this was interesting. The new store is out this week. It came out this past Monday. And it has across all platforms. So you have the store for the iPhone, the store for the iPad, and especially you have the store for the Vision Pro. For us Vision Pro users, now you actually can look at the apps on your Mac or on your iPad and be able to go take a look at it and look at these apps. Marty, what were your thoughts on this, especially with the Vision Pro?
Yeah, preparing for the show on Monday, I didn't know they had released this on Monday. So when we were looking for apps, it's like, wait a minute, what is this new interface? And what is this pull-down menu that allows me to look for all these apps on Vision Pro? We hadn't had anything like that. It either had to be done in-device or we had to use some sort of outsourced person that is putting together all the apps they can throw together into a database. So very cool. Also, the fact that when you change the pull-down menu from device to device, you get different options underneath. So, different options for your Apple TV, different options for your watch, different options for Vision Pro. So just a very, very cool interface. I've got it now bookmarked up in the corner of my browser because that's where I'll probably start, particularly if I'm looking for Vision Pro things.
Absolutely. Anybody else try this out? I thought I did the same thing. I got it bookmarked here now too. It's extremely cool to be able to look at all that. And then the drop down is super easy. You can just go right to each product from the iPhone, the iPad, even TV, and all others, and you can have a much better experience. Probably, and I haven't tried it actually on an iPhone or an iPad. It probably works perfectly fine on there too. So you can get a much quicker view than having to go into the App Store for each place. And the good thing is you can look at these places when it says it's only for the iPhone or only for the iPad or only for tvOS or whatever. So
I was reading up on this just now. So I wasn't even aware that this was a thing. And there was a comment on Reddit basically saying, well, why can't I remotely install these apps if I'm logged in and all that? And it's like, do you really, really, really want Apple to remotely install applications on your phone because someone who is logged in with you said it was okay? Do you really want that?
Right. No, I agree. It's
I would not want that.
Well, the thing is, it's just a viewer because you can't sign into your account. It's not like on the Vision Pro app on the iPhone or the iPad where you can look at the apps and then, because that's linked to your account, so you can add it in the queue. It won't download to the Vision Pro until you go on your Vision Pro and actually go to the App Store and say, and then turn it on. Then it'll sync, but it won't install until you're actually using it. So, but
I could see them making it so that you could send a link to that device through messages or through, some other method so that when you're on that device, it'll be like, hey, you were looking at this application. Do you want to install it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That makes sense.
So that is a cool thing. So let's unless anybody else has anything else, let's go in here. I didn't give a lot of coverage this time around with the quarterly results from Apple, but I'm just going to kind of roll through this a little bit here. Apple did had an amazingly high flying fiscal year with a quarter Q4 record. The results were just past Thursday after we did the show, and it was no. In fact, I had to record on Wednesday. That's why I missed it. I'm trying to think why we didn't do it, because it's usually on Thursdays, and we would have to recap it like that day. So they generated 102.5 billion, which is a Q4 record, which also closed their biggest fiscal year in terms of revenue ever. Fastest growing services category is at an all-time high. Mac and iPhone revenue were also up. Wearables and iPad revenue were more or less flat. And of course, we have the link to 6 Colors. Jason Snell does these amazing charts. iPhone's under 50% now. It's at 48% because it's got spread the wealth. But services, my gosh, 28%. I remember it was like 13% before. The services are just kicking butt. And you got everything else. The Mac is at 9% now. Mac has been really steadily gaining, which has been great. And then the wearables, 9%. The iPad is at 7%. The Mac revenue was up to 8.7 billion, which is crazy by itself. The year-over-year change was 13%. The iPad was about 7.0 billion, and it was kind of flat. And then it was around zero. It didn't even have any gain, but that's good to see. It's just pretty steady. iPhone revenue 49 billion, and that was up about 6%. So iPhone continues to do very well. The services revenue was at 28.8 billion, and that was up to 15%. Then their gross margins, my gosh, 47.2 billion in gross margin profit. That's just crazy. Wearables 9%, 9 billion, and that was about flat. But total Apple revenue again, $102.5 billion with a 27.5 billion profit. I don't think anybody can complain how well Apple did on the market here. A lot of great things with the product lines and what's been going on year over year, and they're just doing super. There's just great numbers. I'm going to start with you, Jeff. What's your thoughts of how Apple did?
Of course, they made all the money, and you say no one can complain. Don't worry, Dave. People
Apple's
will complain.
doomed. I know.
Apple is doomed. So there's one of the charts that Jason put together, the annual revenue by product line chart. And I find this one to be very compelling because the iPhone is like, it might as well be on a separate chart.
Yep.
Because it is just so far away from everything else. But when you look at services, it has never gone down.
Nope.
It's from tracking it from when Jason has it on the chart, it just keeps going up, and I don't think that's going to change. Nope. I think it'll be a while before we see services eclipse iPhone. But I mean, someday it's going to happen,
right?
And that's okay because Apple is playing a very long game, and seeing Macs come back up, it's crazy what happens when you release new models with new chips.
It is
great chips.
Yeah, then the great chips too.
Yeah.
So anybody else want to add their thoughts on how Apple did this quarter?
They made a lot of money.
That is true.
I had one thought about it. It's funny because Microsoft is making money, a lot of money too. And so is Amazon. And they are laying people off by the tens of thousands every round. Microsoft last week just, I think, did another 14. And you don't see that from Apple. So it seems to me like they have a better grasp about, there may be layoffs in this division or that division. We decided to build a car. Now we're not building a car. But you don't see it. And it makes me feel like Apple is a business that knows how to run itself, is essentially the point.
Well, Apple has, you're right, I agree, Jill. Apple is not laying people off. what they're doing is they're giving opportunities for other companies to steal their engineers.
Well, very mad.
Yeah.
and the engineers then wind up, if you follow some of that happened with other AI poaching that other companies did, those engineers wind up leaving that company pretty quickly with a golden parachute.
Or they get laid off. Yeah.
Yeah. The part that is not is the unspoken part is looking at the projections. Even the analysts are saying, you think this is a good quarter? Wait till next quarter. That Apple is going to be banging next quarter with based on what the trends are and what the product lines are and things like that. So
just keep
looking good.
Keep looking good.
Yeah, it seems to me that most of the people that are getting laid off are executives associated with their AI offerings.
Yeah. True.
I did see one pundit go off about a year and a half ago. Sell your Apple. It's topped. It's maxed. It's just it's a great company, but it's done what it's going to do.
So in short, sorry, excuse me.
All right. That's about the all we can hit with the great profit. Keep it up, Apple. We're all pulling it for you. We love Apple, that's for sure. Two more things real quick. Apple TV Plus is now officially rebranded is now official. They have a new intro. In fact, I just watched the morning show the other day, and they already changed it. So it's got the new intro. It's just a different kind of sound, and it just says Apple TV. So I think this was a good move on Apple's part to just change the branding and make it universal, because it was always very confusing. Apple TV Plus, Apple TV. You have an Apple TV app. You have an Apple TV device. So now it's all universal into one place, and it's not confusing anymore. So
yeah, it's all related to services, even the Apple TV. Right. I'm sorry, Apple TV device. Right. I should have specified.
See, that's the problem. Apple TV 4K, or Apple TV, whatever they're going to call the new one, if there's a new one. So
they're going to call it Apple TV.
Exactly.
That'll be it.
Probably. Let's keep it all consistent.
I'm confused. We just did a show last night on Old Mac Gang about News Plus.
It's still news.
And it's sort of like, it's not news anymore. It's all News Plus. And so I can't keep together the pluses and minuses straight in my head of what Apple's doing.
They're still calling it News Plus.
Marty, what I'm hearing is we should go find a documentary about News Plus that you can watch on Apple TV, in Apple TV, on Apple TV.
Well, no, I want a documentary on news, not on News Plus. I want the unpaid version of the documentary.
Oh, okay.
Well, remember, you have to be a subscriber to get News Plus. So,
yeah.
So, but no,
I got cranky already last week about it because I said to my friend, "Oh, it's on Apple TV Plus, Apple TV with the subscription, not the box, not the." And I'm mad already.
I see their point. So, and then lastly, I'm a big Apple One bundle subscriber. I think a few of you are here as well. They did upload the logo and the name on the app on the Apple TV streaming service. This is the same thing. The app they say Apple One might be next. They revamped the Apple TV website. There's a new more colorful Apple One logo available. The Apple icon split into 6 slices. Each slice the color that Apple uses for their services. And in Apple One Premium, and of course we know it combines all the subscriptions in one place. And pricing, of course, starts at $19.99. I have the Apple One, the Apple One full bundle at that's at $37.95 a month. And Apple, there was an update after this article was written that. It was pointed out that Apple has used the Apple One logo on occasion in the past, but it appears now Apple is making a more prominent use of it. So they are using more of it. So again, it's all branding. And that's, I think Apple's just looking at better things with branding, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So with that,
go ahead. Just one quick thing on the Apple TV Plus change. I don't know if any of you listened to the sound. I found it interesting that they said that Billie Eilish's brother Phineas
yeah,
did the sound.
Oh, did he? Oh, wow, didn't know that.
What, for the logo?
For
Yeah,
the new
for the Apple TV.
for the Apple TV,
new one?
the new
Oh.
sound,
The spinning logo.
The stinger.
right? The stinger sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Didn't know that. He'll make some residuals on that too. Not that he doesn't need it, right?
So Billy Irish's brother,
Phineas.
Doris.
His name is Phineas. All right, let's move on and go on and call it a night here. What a great show. I've got a great panel as always. We always have a blast here, everybody. And thanks everybody in the chat at YouTube. And let's go and wrap up. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on BlueSky, Mastodon at InTouchWithIOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. Would really appreciate it. You all can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. There's 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and you're notified when we're live streaming, which is Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. We had Witherbucket. We had Brian F. made an appearance. I'm glad to see you, Brian, and Webb Bixby. Thank you all for being there. You can go there and watch the live stream. I leave it up there afterwards, and also listen to past shows. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, many others. But better yet, just go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where the links are all there to listen to us. So right on that website. I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me on BlueSky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And let's go to Jeff Gamet. Thank you so much for being here, Jeff. Where can people find you?
Dave Ginsburg. Thank you for including me. People can find me on the social medias as J Gamet, and I'm most active right now in Mastodon, BlueSky, and PixelFed. Then for shows, Tuesdays on Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices Live, here with you on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS, on the British Tech Network, The Big Show, and The Mac Show. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brindamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
All righty. Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Eric Bolden, for being here. Where can people find you?
I can be found on Mastodon at Bolden at mas.tl, as well as on Vision Profiles on Monday nights, covering Vision OS, on Tuesday nights on Mac Voices, and of course here on Thursdays, rounding out the week with all the OSs.
That's indeed. Thank you so much for being here. Guy, Serle, thank you for being here.
Right.
I appreciate it as always. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you. Well, I love being on In Touch with iOS, and I appreciate the invitations when you send them out. As well as being on Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices on Tuesday nights. If you just can't get enough of someone like me, you can go and check out the new G-Men show along with Gazmaz. Our new email address is gmenshow@icloud.com. You can find me mostly on 2 very, very polar opposite social media networks, which would be Twitax and Skies of Blue. Those are the 2 that I'm mostly active on. You can find me usually as Mac Parrot, though I'm also there as VertShark as well. And we have a Google telephone number. Hey, how about that? Boy, we're just swinging through all stages of technology here. That would be 703-828-4677. Leave a voicemail message for the G-Men, and we will play it on the show. And you can say pretty much anything you want about us. We have very, very thick skins. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy. Appreciate it. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. Always great to have you. Where can people find you?
Well, pre-show, I'm so grateful every Thursday to be able to do this when I can be here on Thursdays. And pre-show, I always talk about how this is just what I need. So thanks for having me,
Absolutely.
Dave. You can find me Jencius, Jencius at BlueSky, and also Jencius, Jencius at mastodon.social. Monday nights, we do Vision Profiles at 9 p.m. here on YouTube. at youtube.com/@visionprofiles with Eric and Dave and an occasional Daniel, where we cover the week's worth of news on Vision Pro and other AV XR headsets. Tuesdays with Chuck and Mac Voices and many of the gang here, which is great. And then Thursdays here with In Touch with iOS. Other places and other projects I'm doing you can find on the podtalk.net. Just go to that website and it'll connect you with other podcasts that I'm involved in.
Excellent. Thank you, Marty. And Jill McKinley, thank you as always for being here. Such a great part of the show. Where can people find you?
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You can find everything I do at jillfromthenorthwoods.com. I have productivity podcasts. I have nature, like stepping out off of a cliff in a mountain with your Apple Watch, but viewing nature first. Both on podcast and YouTube. Yeah. So there's a podcast every day.
Excellent. All right. Thanks to everybody that has listened and watched and has been here to join us. And we'll do it again next week. But until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk again soon.